Hey, what's up? Improvement Warrior, Jason Yun, back with you again. Hope you're having a fabulous and strong day today. Welcome to Improvement Warrior Podcast, episode number 9. This one is going over my water habit, so it's going to be a pretty short one. I don't have a Jack Cruz segment here or a meme of the week. So just basically going over how I do my water, how I get my water from the springs and all that stuff, and how I fill it up and all that, with some, of course, some tips throughout the podcast as I'm doing that. But yeah, one thing I did not cover in the actual video was my carboys are actually plastic. You'll understand what the carboy is and everything once we get to that, but it was plastic. They do make glass, but that would have added significant weight, and with kids, I felt it was best to go with plastic for that. What I've been up to recently, so recording this towards the end of August 2021, I went to the dentist and doctor this past week, turned down the x-rays once again from the doctor, or from the dentist, and there was a new branch of the same dentist I usually go to, but the old one, they threw a fit the last time I tried to decline it. They were like, blah, 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 and like, the x-rays can see things that we can't, and I'm like, whatever. This one just made me sign a waiver saying I'm declining the x-rays. But that's one thing, I mean, listening to this podcast, you know how bad Wi-Fi and your phone and AirPods and all that stuff is, but x-rays is just, it's a whole nother level. That's why I still to this day always opt out of the x-ray machine in the airport. Dr. Cruz says that just flying alone is equivalent to 20 to 30 chest x-rays, but you don't want that 21 or that 31st chest x-ray. So avoiding x-rays, I mean, the level is off the chain, okay? Especially on the head. I mean, they're going to be, the x-rays are on the teeth, so brain right up here. Not something that I want to do. I'll get it if there's a actual problem with my mouth, and yeah, but I mean, I take better care of my teeth than most people, and I eat better than most people, and the sun is also something that helps the stuff in the teeth. I don't know the names of the teeth, but it's, the sun helps. So showing your teeth and like that, and smiling at the teeth, opening your mouth, letting the sun come in, letting your tongue roll up so it can get the bottom of the mouth is also excellent stuff to do, because the sun has all those benefits on every part of our skin. Obviously, I'm outside standing in a kaniki, so get that sun all over your body, as naked as possible. Then I haven't had x-rays since 2018. Then I had the doctor visit, so it's a yearly doctor physical, and I get blood work done. Before, I had a bunch of tests, so I always test for vitamin D. This year I got testosterone. He said it would be free if he told me that he would just enter that I had lack of energy occasionally. But there was other ones that the cholesterol particle test, I told him not to do the particles, just regular cholesterol, because cholesterol doesn't really matter. One thing he did, I'll make an entire episode, podcast episode, going over the doctor, because it was interesting experience. One experience I did share on social media already, and it was when the nurse was in there doing the regular nurse stuff, blood pressure and all that stuff. Another nurse came in and told the nurse, "Hey, I haven't had lunch yet. What do you want? I'm going to Family Dollar." And the other nurse was like, "I don't know, give me some chips and pretzels." And the other girl was like, "You want some Funyuns?" And I was like, it was just like amazing. And we wonder why so many people are unhealthy and whatnot. Other things, he told me my my high HDL. I had 88 HDL last year. He told me that is hereditary because you can't do things to raise your HDL up that high naturally, which is complete and utter bullshit. But yeah, I'll do an entire episode on that. But yeah, I get my vitamin D checked and all that stuff. And this is actually the earliest I've checked my vitamin D. So again, it's the end of August. So I'm hoping it will be over 85. So last year it was 76. Year before that it was 60, and that was the first time I did an unsupplemented test. Okay, but again, I'll do a full episode of that. The show notes for this episode is improvementwarriorfitness.com/IWP9. And before we get into it, the books that I've gone through. So I read the You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins for the 4th time on Audible. Started my 3rd breathing book, the Buteyko Clinic, which was mentioned in the breath book by James Nestor. It's called Close Your Mouth, and it's basically how to stop asthma and all other breathing problems. And it's fascinating stuff. I'm going to include a lot of it in the breathing webinar, the 14th pillar of health. I'll put the link for that book in there. It's a really good book. There's a bunch of exercises in there. I've already started doing them, and I can feel myself breathing and focusing on my breath better. And still reading that Brendan Burchard book. Almost done with that. About 50 more pages, and I'm done with that. But that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Sponsors for this show, we just sponsored with the Midwestern Light Therapy. So check them out. You get 10% off if you use code ImprovementWarrior10. And bye-bye. Improvement Warrior 10. And yeah, they're blue blockers. The night ones are the ones that I go into stores and the doctors and the dentists and all that with those on. So 10% off there. They've got the red light panels as well. You can check those out there. Cozy Health is another light therapy. So they've got the light bulbs, no flicker LED light bulbs. And if you use code cozyhealth.com, if you use code Improvement Warrior, all caps, all one word, the other one's all lowercase, you'll get 10% off there. And of course, don't forget to check out my stuff. So if you want to really support the podcast, go check out the stuff. Bye-bye. Check out the stuff that I have. So the Yun Recommends page is always the best. So improvementwarriorfitness.com/Yun-recommends. I think it's dash stuff. I'll put the link in the show notes. And I'll make a shorter one as well. But we're on iTunes now, so you can leave a review, and future podcasts I'll share the reviews with you guys, so you know that actual people are listening and actual people are being helped through this information. And also on Patreon, so if you want to support the show, you can do a monthly donation or a single donation or anything like that. I will have a PayPal up here pretty soon as well. And of course, I've got all the services as well. So if you need help, health coaching, one-on-one, I have health consults open. Otherwise, let's get into the actual show and let's go over my water habits. I'll see you there. Have a great day. Stay strong. Stay positive. Be the Improvement Warrior. This is the Thornville Spring, Chrisland Hills, I believe it is called. Thornville, Ohio. It's the closest one to where I live in New Albany, Ohio. It's about 40 minutes away. I'm actually going there today. I've got a doctor's physical, a yearly physical. But just wanted to show you my routine of collecting water. And you can find a spring, go to findaspring.com, and you can see the closest one to you. So I've used this one, and then there's another one about 15 minutes away in Heath, Ohio. Both of them about 45 minutes away. But the other one is just, the next closest one is like 75 minutes away. So really look as you get more northeast, it seems like there's a lot more springs, but basically I've got 3 different carboys, and carboys I think originally were made to make beer and alcohol, but they make excellent storages of water. You just got to get a cap to put on. I've got 3 of them. I've got 2 6-gallon ones and 1 5-gallon one, and I just fill them up, put them in the car. Do got to be a little bit more careful driving. I did spill like half of a carboy last time, so that is something you got to be aware of. Once I'm finished with the carboys, I take the littler bottles, my gallon jug, and I've got like apple cider vinegar liter jugs that I've been saving. So I believe I've got 13 or 14 of them now, and every time I run out of the apple cider vinegar, I just put it into storage so I can get more water. I'll do this approximately, well, it's changing now. I'm doing it more frequently, so I probably definitely will get another carboy. I just get them from Amazon. Links will be in the show notes for all the things that I mention. Show notes will be improvementwarriorfitness.com/IWP9. It's episode 9. And just fill all those up and good to go. So now what I'm doing is I'm actually making my ice using the spring water. I went through the last one pretty quickly, just about 2 weeks, because I used my bone broth. I made all my bone broth, 5 batches of bone broth with the spring water. Water is vital to life, and if you're drinking fluoridated water, tap water, it is going to absolutely destroy you, and it will. I hear fluoride is the one substance that will cause cancer quicker than any other substance. So you've really got to be vigilant about your fluoride. Switch your toothpaste, change the water, and you got to take water to restaurants, because more than likely it's just tap water. And I mean, that's a little weird, but as I say, you will appear weird if you are healthy in this modern day of life that we have. So yeah, water, absolutely essential. And if you're not getting the bogus claim of 8 glasses a day, which is 64 ounces, that's a good place to start if you're not there. But you always want to move up to at least half your body weight in ounces. I typically I have a gallon Arctic jug that I use, which you'll see here later after I leave Thornville, the spring, and fill up my water. I'll show you what I do there. I've got that. I probably drink 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons in the summer, and then at least 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons in the colder months. And water needs to be cold. The more colder you can get your water, the more electrons it has. So cold water expands, so its exclusion zone is bigger, so it's going to have more electrons versus protons compared to, say, a hot cup of tea. I'm saying you can still drink hot liquids, but make sure the majority of your liquids are coming from cold water. And cold water will also have more oxygen in it. It's more oxygenated. And if you are just listening to the audio, basically it's on the video version of the podcast. It's just me filling up the carboys, filling up the little liter jugs and other things that I have. My daughter and son have a gallon water jug that has like a little pitcher and stuff.
Water process. Clean, cold water.
All right, we're moving into what I do at home. So basically, open up the water jug, get my ice cups out. So it's basically just plastic cups. I've got 5 of them, and just a little kids' cups, so they're able to be squeezed, so the ice will come out pretty simply into my ice jug. And In the summer, the ice tends to melt, so I do use a lot more ice than I would in the winter. So basically I'll squeeze the ice cups, which has about 8 ounces of ice in each cup, and then I will get the ice trays out, and then I'll fill those up. I've got 5 ice trays now. Usually I'll do 2 or 3 of the ice trays on top of the ice cups. You really need to be careful with your water. If you are going to drink bottled water, make sure it is a good bottled water. Spring water, or the more northern, so Icelandic water, Evian, that kind of stuff. So if it comes from a glacier, that's even better. The ones I watch is like the more commercial ones, like Dasani, and the names are slipping me, but you just got to watch those. If you do go into a restaurant, I do take this full jug into restaurants. Sometimes I will drink sparkling water, because that's 90% of the time that's made with spring water, but I would ask for the actual glass before getting it, because sometimes they will bring it to you in a cup. So like I said, being healthy will seem as weird. I went to a Texas Roadhouse. I ran out of water from my jug and asked them if they had sparkling water, and the waitress said that was the first time anybody's ever asked them if they had that. So, appearing weird. Other waters that are okay if it's purified through reverse osmosis, and that's one of the systems that if you can get reverse osmosis, get it. It's very good. It's one of the best waters because you can super cool that water, and it's got no impurities, nothing in it. So very good water there. And back out in the garage where I keep the carboys and all the water I get from the spring, and which is another reason why the ice melts, because it's trying to cool the hot water down in the jug. And if I run out of jugs, then I typically use the clearly filtered water pitcher filters. I'll put the link in the show notes, but basically that one is 98%. It takes out that much fluoride, but you just have to watch different filters. Brita sucks. It doesn't filter fluoride. Okay, and then the final step process is basically, not the final, I refill my water cups. Again, I'll use the spring water as much as I can, and then I'll use the clearly filtered once I'm running low on the spring water. But if you are going to do reverse osmosis filters, do not put it on your pipes, because I've heard it basically destroys your pipes and it'll cost you thousands of dollars in plumbing repairs. Another thing I try to do when going out is I try to bring my kids' cups from home. It's not always successful, because sometimes the waitresses will always bring water, but I think I just need to talk to them beforehand and tell them not to bring those type of cups, because kids, like everything else, they're more susceptible. Their bodies and organs are not fully developed, and brain doesn't fully develop until mid-20s. So that's something you really have to take into consideration, and that's why tap water is one of the big reasons why 54% of kids today have a chronic disease. So we have to be more vigilant with our kids and careful with them. You have to, of course, lead by example and go from there. So its kids need us. They need strong. They need good, healthy, clean water all the time. And one other thing with water is know your environment. So my house, no Wi-Fi, no smart meter cover on, power's turned off most rooms, especially the upstairs rooms. So you have to watch where you are. If you're working, you're going to require more water so you don't get dehydrated. So you just got to plan for that. And then as the day goes on, you get closer to bedtime. You don't want to be waking up in the middle of the night having to go to the bathroom because you drank a liter of water before you went to bed. So that's one of the sleep tips in episode 7 that I had. Taper your water as you get closer to bed because we don't want to interrupt that sleep, and taping your mouth at night will help to shut the urge to go to the bathroom as well, because it will shut down that certain hormone that is responsible for doing that. Okay, and then final step here is lemon or lime goes into the water. Sometimes I'll do 2 limes, just depending, and so I just smash the limes. I used to put the whole lime in, but I read the thing and there's like beeswax and stuff on the actual lime, so I don't want that in. So I got a lemon juicer and just squeeze the juice in to the bottle. So lemons or limes you can go with non-organic. They don't have to, they're not on the dirty dozen. So there's a dirty dozen for vegetables and fruits, and there's a clean 15. So always buy organic when you are looking at the dirty dozen. The lemon and lime juice I will do year-round, winter as well. I mean, you got to think it's just like 10 to 20 calories for an entire gallon of water. It's not something I even track in my macros. I'm just doing it purely for the vitamin C because we need that for certain cell reactions and whatnot. I learned that tip from Dr. Cruz. So that is something I will do year round, and occasionally I will also put apple cider vinegar in it as well. And sometimes I will even do essential oils. I'll put like stevia at the bottom of the thing, and then I'll do like lemon or peppermint, and then go from there. But that basically is the water, my water habits with the spring water and the jugs. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
"34-day light challenge. Your light environment is more important than the food you eat and the exercise you do. The world needs more light gurus and less food ones. This path requires that you suspend the belief that to get healthy all you have to do is change your diet and start exercising. This is a half-truth that is missing the other half. The other half is the reason why we are in the middle of multiple disease epidemics. The 34-day light challenge is not a nutrition or exercise challenge. This challenge will teach you all you need to know about the health habits in regards to light, natural and artificial, that will put you on your path to optimal. Mitochondria is our powerhouse of the cell, and if it goes bad, then it doesn't matter what you do in terms of nutrition, exercise, supplements, drugs, doctor visits, yada yada yada. Until you fix the mitochondria, your health will suffer. Think of it as an engine of your car. Do you get more scared when the service engine light comes on or the low fuel light comes on? You probably have seen the low fuel light many times before. Maybe you are one who actually ran out of gas. But when that engine light comes on, it's a big, uh-oh, what's wrong and how much is this going to cost me? When your engine breaks, the fuel you put in makes no difference at all. The 34-day light challenge is going to help you fix your engine. Register today at improvementwarriorfitness.com/light challenge.
Is the ketogenic diet a fad? Well, that depends on who you talk to. For me, it definitely is not. Keto is a lifestyle. It should be incorporated seasonally, but not until after you have reversed your leptin and insulin resistance, which, if you are doing everything right in terms of your light, electropollution, cold exposure, food, and exercise, should take no longer than 18 months for any starting weight. My 47-day ketogenic diet challenge will teach you the basics and beyond for getting started and continuing on with a ketogenic and low-carb lifestyle. It comes with an introductory keto webinar, 104-page ebook, recipe book, replacement food guide, dining out guide, entry into my private Facebook group, and an introductory leptin webinar, because not all people will be starting with a ketogenic type eating style. Check it out at improvementwarriorfitness.com/keto challenge. Use discount code podcast for 10% off.